New Orleans style jazz. It's a real happy music. It's a real danceable music. And it's a healing music too. I mean, if anybody come to the show for those 3 hours, you are totally somewhere else in life and in soul and in mind.
Welcome to About the Journey. I'm your host, Oneika Raymond, travel expert and member of Marriott Bonvoy. In this season, we're exploring how travel changes us for the better, allowing us to nurture ourselves, our relationships with family and loved ones, and even with the world around us. This week, we're in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's a city known for its rich history, mouth-watering cuisine, and beloved music, all of which you can find in the Treme, one of the nation's first Black neighborhoods.
Any given day, you can walk through the Treme neighborhood, and it looks like Mardi Gras Day.
Treme is the heart of culture.
Treme is the oldest Black neighborhood in America. And so this, we like to say, is the pure culture of this city.
I'm headed to the Treme from my hotel, W New Orleans in the French Quarter, and I'll step into the past to find out just how this historic Black neighborhood has become the heart of NOLA. By the end of this episode, you'll not only have a deeper understanding of the city's history, you'll also learn where to find the hottest live music and the tastiest soul food. Let's go. I'm really excited by Treme's rich expression of Black culture and finding a shared connection with some of the people who call this historic neighborhood home. My first stop is Kermit's Treme Mother-in-Law Lounge. Kermit's is the last standing jazz lounge in Treme, the very neighborhood that founded jazz. As I arrive, colorful murals that pay homage to the people and history of the neighborhood beckon me inside. I'm meeting up with the lounge's owner, Kermit Ruffins, one of the city's most famous musicians. Kermit has opened for jazz greats like Miles Davis and Ray Charles. And as I walk in, I'm greeted with this familiar tune. That was fantastic. My name is Oneika.
Thank you, man. Pleasure to meet you.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. I cannot wait to find out more about your place and about you. So let's go chat.
Thank you. Let's do it.
Mr. Kermit Ruffins, I am so honored to be here talking with you.
My pleasure.
We're in a dimly lit, cozy bar area. To my side, there's a grand piano. Kermit tells me that this space, plus his lounge's inviting back patio, is where he and other performers put on a show. We're in a place that you own, that you've opened. Tell us about it.
It's a beautiful jazz bar. I always wanted to have a bar. My mom used to run a bar, so I was always see everybody having a good time in there, playing the jukebox and what have you. And then when I started playing jazz, we started playing in bars a lot. In some jazz bars, some big bars, like the House of Blues, Tipitina's here in New Orleans. But I always wanted a small jazz bar. And I found this place maybe about 15 years ago, vacant. And previous owner name was Ernie Cato. He had hit songs forever. And his main hit song was Mother-in-Law, Mother-in-Law. And so when I got the place, I just changed it from Cato's Mother-in-Law Lounge to Kermit's Treme Mother-in-Law Lounge.
Yeah, and it definitely speaks to the history of the place, the fact that it was closed and then you decided to reopen it and continue that legacy. Well, tell me, Mother-in-Law Lounge, what does it look and feel like when it's packed?
We're pretty blessed because every day of the week, at least 4 days of the week, we have live jazz. Every time we open the doors with a jazz concert, it's never the same people. It's always tourists from all over the world.
And that's a beautiful thing, to be able to kind of plant that seed and to watch it grow. And to really have people come to experience jazz
without even knowing I'm doing it.
Without even knowing it, but having
second nature to have fun.
Why did you choose the Treme?
The Treme kind of chose me. Just so much live entertainment to the point where any given day you can walk through the Treme neighborhood and it looks like Mardi Gras Day. On a Tuesday evening at 3 o'clock, Just so many people, so many bars. I was like, do they work? I just couldn't believe it. I'm a young kid, I'm 19 years old, I'm walking with my trumpet, and I could not believe what I was seeing throughout the neighborhood every day of the week.
Music is so transformative, right? For so many of us, we associate a song or a melody to these things that happen in our life, these pivotal moments in our lives. How does the jazz music in New Orleans contribute to this transformative experience?
New Orleans style jazz, it's a real happy music. It's a real danceable music. And it's a healing music too. I mean, if anybody come to the show and they have problems, for those 3 hours, you are totally somewhere else in life and in soul and in mind. You're just gone.
That's beautiful for you to be able to bring that sort of joy, right, and that type of transformation to people by playing your music.
I'm blessed to be able to give to the neighborhood as much as they give to me. It just so happened that God, if I would have been born somewhere else, I just don't know. And I always think about that frequently. I'm like, my God, I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, the birthplace of jazz, and they put a trumpet in my hand at 14 years old, and I'm 59 years old now.
But you're loving every minute of it.
Every second of it.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
It's a pleasure meeting you too.
I leave Kermit to get ready for his show and head to Congo Square, another space with a rich musical heritage. This square was once a gathering place and safe haven where both enslaved and free people of color would gather. I'm on my way to meet up with Denise Augustine, a tour guide and storyteller who was born just 4 blocks away. Walking up, I see Denise standing underneath a grand white arch that says Armstrong. This, of course, is Treme's Louis Armstrong Park. It's a slice of the neighborhood with rolling manicured lawns and peaceful duck ponds. Inside the park is our ultimate destination, the storied Congo Square. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited because I hear that you are a natural-born storyteller.
Well, you know, I formed a company called Our Sacred Stories to maintain the authentic stories of the Afro-Creoles in the area. And so we tell stories because we have a long prep time and just as long cook time on our foodways. And so when you sit around a table with another group of women in these cooking classes, this is how they maintain their time when they were peeling 17 pounds of shrimp for the holidays, telling of your family's history, the telling of your neighborhood history, your culture. So storytelling is a part of my DNA.
Yes, a very important legacy, and so happy to hear that you are continuing the tradition. Tell me, where are we and what is the significance of this place?
Well, this is Louis Armstrong Park, the part of the neighborhood called Tremé. Tremé is the oldest Black neighborhood in America. And so this, we like to say, is the pure culture of this city.
Well, I'm super excited to get into it, so let's start the tour.
Okay, great.
Denise and I make our way into Congo Square. There are sculptures all around us, but Denise decides to lead me to a huge stone slab. Carved into the surface of the dark rock face is a jubilant scene of lively musicians and a dancing couple. This is a really impressive sculpture. Tell me the story behind it.
The first thing you see is the musical instruments that the Africans that were brought here, they recreated them from memory. And so what looks like a banjo is actually a banza, which is an African instrument. There were many people around the country, many enslaved people who had Sunday off, but none of them had the freedoms that we had on Sunday. It was actually called a free day. We were allowed to have the drum. Nowhere else in America could Africans have the drum because they feared that we would drum up a revolution. And so we were allowed the drum. We did the bambula dance. We beat the bambula rhythms out. And we would come on Sunday. It was a time of joy. So we have lots of wonderful memories about maintaining our African culture because we were allowed to meet and to dance on Sunday in this area.
Why, for you as somebody who is a New Orleans native, someone who recognizes and appreciates where you've come from, why is it so important for you as a storyteller to continue this legacy of storytelling?
There is nothing that you can do to avoid the Africanness of New Orleans. From the time you get off of an airplane and you sit down for that bowl of gumbo, my people are present,
Yes.
right? If you go see a jazz band, my people are present, right? And so everything that you touch on your visit to New Orleans has some part of Africa in it.
It does.
We are proud of this, and we left an indelible mark on this culture that still exists today.
Denise's message reverberates through me as we move through the square. We walk over granite tiles laid out in overlapping circles. Denise tells me these circles represent the dancing pattern that her ancestors would make as they moved to the rhythm of the drum circles hosted here every Sunday afternoon. When I look up from the ground, I find us standing in front of a bright red metal plaque engraved with white text that reads Congo Square.
This sign is a reminder that this is holy ground to the Africans that were brought here. The very first two ships came in 1719, but after 1817, we're now Americans, and you've got 500 to 600 Africans all over the city, so they said you have to meet here. This is a place of joy for us, right? This is a place of renewal for us. We could set up the market. You met your friends, and we would dance in a circle, and we would sing, and we would comfort each other. And in that, community would take care of each other.
So this was a place, this was a safe place.
A safe place.
Right? A safe
Our
haven.
safe place.
You know, we've talked a lot about the past of this square.
Yeah.
I would love to kind of bring it into the present. What purpose does this square serve in the context of Tremé and of New Orleans?
We still come to honor our ancestors. Every Sunday afternoon, there's drummers to remind us that we were able to drum 300 years ago in this space. We hold festivals here like the Congo Square Festival every year. And so there's always music and always food. I believe this from the bottom of my heart, that my ancestors are still here serving me and helping me throughout this life. Energy never dies.
Energy never dies.
Never dies.
You know, something that really strikes me as I have these conversations with you and with others in Tremé is that we can't know where we're going until we know where we came from. And so the present, the future, is intrinsically linked with the past.
Absolutely.
And it's so important for us to have that legacy, to continue the legacy, to tell the stories of our history so that we know who we are, we know who we can be.
Our ancestors live in these stories. And so I remain honored by their presence here. And I am, at no time do I believe that I am here by accident. I know that I stand on the shoulders of these women.
Yes.
So.
Well, thank you so much for telling your stories and for keeping that history, that energy, that industry, those improvisational skills alive.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. It has been my pleasure.
I leave Denise and Congo Square with the deep appreciation for how the past flows into our present. Progress can only be measured by honoring where we come from. And as the city continues to evolve, it stays true to its history rooted in African culture. My final stop of the day, just around the corner from Congo Square, is a shining example of this ethos. In a city known for flavorful Cajun and Creole fare like gumbos, flavored with spicy sausage and crawfish boils served family style, I'm headed to I-tal Garden for a twist on the traditional flavors of New Orleans. Hey, Chef Ra, how are you?
Oh, hey, Oneika, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right. Welcome to I-tal Garden.
Chef Joseph Robinson, or Raw for short, is the owner of I-tal Garden, a plant-based soul food restaurant he opened in the Treme to bring the comforting flavors of New Orleans cuisine to his diners. No meat required. Chef Raw comes out from his kitchen to greet me, and I feel like I'm entering his home. There's vibrant local artwork on the walls and potted plants throughout. But what draws me in the most is an amazing aroma coming from a delicious-looking plate of food that Chef Ross prepared just for me. Listen, this food smells amazing.
Yes, thank you.
But first, tell me a little bit more about I-tal Garden.
Yes.
I know what I-tal is because I'm Jamaican, so I'm familiar with the concept. But for people who don't know, what is it exactly?
Yeah, so I-tal is the root word for vital. And vital means very important, nutrients for your body and nourishment and so forth. So I-tal Garden is how we got the terminology I-tal. So we embraced that and we brought it here down to New Orleans.
Amazing.
Yes.
And so you have plant-based cuisine.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what we have on these plates.
Okay, yes, we can get into it. We have the triple mac and cheese, or we make it out of cashew cheese. Everything is dairy-free, meat-free. We also have sweet potatoes, the grilled sweet potatoes, crabless cakes that's made out of like hearts of palms, chickpeas and stuff. And our very popular item is jackfruit barbecue ribs and Creole greens, so yeah.
Well, this smells incredible. It's healthy and hearty.
Yes.
So let's go throw down. Let's go eat this.
Yes, let's do it.
Chef Raw has me taste his take on collard greens. It's spicy, flavorful, and tastes as though it's been cooked with love. On the plate is a colorful array of braised leafy vegetables. But instead of the savory pieces of ham that usually speckles this dish, there are bright, toothsome pieces of seasoned red bell pepper. The traditional collard greens are joined by braised kale and cabbage. So this is the cabbage?
Yes, it's cabbage.
Ooh, it has a little bit of kick to it.
Yeah,
a little bit of spice.
And the Creole seasoning.
Okay. It's clear that you are very heavily invested in the idea of food not only being restorative to the body, but also to the soul. Can you share a little bit more about that?
So our motto for I-tal Garden is nourishing the garden within, and we each have a garden inside of us, and if we eat to nourish that garden inside of us, then we will thrive from the inside out and we will bloom. So that's what comes to mind when you mention that.
Yeah. You have your location right here in the Treme. I guess what impact or what influences has New Orleans, the city of New Orleans had and the culture here had on your restaurant?
Tremé is the heart of culture. I'm from New Orleans, although this is plant-based, this is all I know. So I'm gonna figure ways to recreate it, such as the crabless cakes, or crabless we call it, but the crab cakes is a staple in New Orleans. A lot of people, know us for crab cakes or gumbo, or jambalaya, po' boys. I find it ways to bring that back, but in a healthier spin, So that's all I know is New Orleans, and I just, it's come out of my spirit, everything that, I create.
I leave I-tal Garden with a full belly and a nourished soul. Being able to connect with NOLA's Black community, particularly in such a historic place like the Treme, really felt amazing to me. It almost felt like I was meeting not just with friends, but with family. As a center where past and present meet, Treme is such a nurturing place. At Kermit's Lounge, I tuned into the emotive and healing rhythm of New Orleans jazz. At Congo Square, I felt the lasting energy of the folks who built this town. And at I-tal Garden, I broke bread with a tastemaker who's fueling a bright future in the Crescent City. That's all for this episode of About the Journey. Subscribe to the Marriott Bonvoy channel and watch all the episodes from this season right here on YouTube.